Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community. And believe me, we have a lot that is affecting us in this community. That's right. Hey, it is a sad day, a sad state of affairs in this city. And that's why we're going to talk about the thing that took place in regard to these superintendents being selected and put into office not by six, but by all of those so-called representatives of the people. Unanimously, they put him back in there with his history. And I have no hesitation or reservation. I think he's a snake in the grass. I think he don't have the interests of the children or the parents in mind. And when I talk about this, there's nothing to me. And I have no problem. I tell the superintendent, come on this show, spot, clown, come on this show and talk to the people about why you think you're qualified. I'm not talking about the fact that you got this PhD in education or whatever you got it in. To me, it's more than a person having a degree. It's about character. It's about common sense. And you have shown, Roderick Richmond, that you don't have common sense. What was the first thing you did? You took care of your wife when you became the interim. And really knowing that that school that you had with 14 children in it, but you reinstated, that was your agenda. It was not the agenda, Roderick Richmond. It was not the agenda of the children or the parents who was concerned. It was your agenda to take care of your wife. And see, when you look at that, that's income coming into your home. That's income by the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're going to get annually. So what did you do? You took care of your wife, meaning you took care of your family. My problem with that is that there's a whole lot of families out there, Dr. Richmond, that is concerned about the educational process, about their children when they come to school and they can't pass the basic skill test. We was on our way to turn this system around with Dr. Marie Fagan, but you was a backstabber. You cannot tell me that you did not know that that was going to happen. I will say that and I will stand by that. You knew that you was finna become the interim superintendent of school when them clowns, them six clowns, among the other three now, with all of those clowns who decided to go against the people. And I say to you, and I say to all those clowns, it don't matter now who you kin to, who your uncle is, or who your cousin, or your last name is Porter. It does not matter because the people are going to send a message to you. We need a whole new entire school board. Get them rid of all of them. And if you're running for office to be on the school board, you ought to know about the parliamentary procedure. You ought to know about Robert's Rules and Order. So when you say that if you're going to wipe out a school board, who's going to be the leader? The leader should be the people who know what the hell they're doing. So when they get rid of all of these people that put you back in there, people that I thought at least three of them had sense enough not to go against Dr. Marie Fagan, but now all of them voted. Because if all of you all voted and put you in, to means who are no earthly good, to put you in a backstabber, a person that really don't care. I don't care how many times you stand up before the people in camera and say that I'm about the children. This is what I'm going to do. State, Tennessee, come in, please, and take over this school system. Because these knuckleheads that in power and position all over the city don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, what can we do? What can we do? And I'm asking a question because let me show you how they play the game with you. They play the game with this clown right here, knowing that the new election is about to take place, but they want to put it in motion and make him the superintendent before the new school board or the new election. That should have been the job, not of this school board now. It should have been the job of the new school board. But you're playing politics, you snake in the grass. I mean, all of you that's on that school board right now. I consider you no more than a snake in the grass that you betrayed your constituents. You can't explain that, but yet you still got some other these other folks that support you snake in the grass. But if you got any sense, a liquor they used to say, of common sense, you should have known better. But you put this clown in office, and you think that he ought to be there for the next 4, 2, whatever years it is. I'm going to push the school board, the newly elected, to renege on your contract. If it's possible, if it's legal, they need to renege on you because the parents are upset. And I say to the parents, y'all come out in record numbers because they showed you what they care about you. Those snake and that woman with them damn Catwoman glass on and that ball on the top of her head, take your behind somewhere and sit down. Cause you messing up the screen of my television when you come with your gap tooth, you know what, on television talking about what you are doing and what he's gonna do. You are a snake in the grass and you need to come out. Matter of fact, I'm very upset with the poor decision that you are making toward the people, the decision you're making toward the children, toward the parents who telling you, these parents are telling you that they didn't want you on there. Well, the parents, you got an opportunity now to really show the strength in numbers. The parents showed out and showed up over at First Baptist Broad, uh, where the mayor of this city was there, and they let him know that they're not pleased with him. And then the election coming up, you need to show that your displeasure as it relates to the mayor of this city. You showed at this appointment of Dr. Roderick Richmond. You showed of your displeasure. But it's time for you to show up now and for you to show out on election day. And that is to vote for all of them people, to vote them out of office. I've heard you, and I've heard you loud and clear. I was way ahead of you when I said I hope they don't put this snake in the grass, in my opinion, as superintendent before the election. And they did what I hoped they wouldn't do. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a reckoning on the political individuals and the politics that we put into office. And they'll do what they want to do because they've been hoodwinked. They've been bamboozled. They've been ran amok to do what the powers that be pay them to do. And you might wish to accept it and say it. They are getting paid by way of contribution. That's all that is. When you say, well, I made this donation, look at it. Matter of fact, I need to pull it up. I'm going to get my tech guy to put it up. the financial statements so far about these individuals running for county mayor, individuals out there that are raising two and three, $400,000 for what? I'll tell you what, because they got that individual in their hip pocket, the powers that be. And I've always said to you, you're more powerful as voters than anybody who have money. You are more powerful because if you put people in office that you can't buy, that you can't shake, you can't persuade, then and only then will methods begin to move forward. I got people that calling and asking to come on the show, and I look forward. The first set of candidates are going to be individuals running for the judgeship, and I welcome them to come in to talk to you. But the time is over. You know, I said I was going to sit back, do this podcast, and just enjoy the rest of the time that I have here. But you know what? That situation that happened the other night has motivated me not only to do what I've been doing for all of these years, to upset the apple cart, to tell you what we need to do as a community. Now, keep in mind, I'm tired of seeing you all getting fish sandwiches just to feed yourself for one day, politically, socially. I'm tired of it. They're not doing anything to feed you for a lifetime. They are setting themselves up to be comfortable, setting themselves up. When you sitting here trying to put two nickels together, when you sitting here trying to figure out what you're gonna put on the plate for your children, but yet they sitting back eating like a fat rat on a piece of cheese, having a good time off of your dime. It's your dime, it's your tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen. And you need to start putting people in office that can be bought, that not slave to the political system. And they are. Our black community leaders are being bought and paid for just like they used to do our ancestors and putting them on the auction block. They're still being bought and paid. They're still being bought and paid and selling us out as a community, and we sit back and do nothing. From the sheriff's office to the county mayor's office to the city council to the county commission to the county mayor. We have been sold out by those individuals, in my opinion, and what I see across the board. We see that they have to take from Peter to pay Paul when they're taking money from you as taxpayers and they misappropriate it. I read where the Speaker of the House session said that they're going to move forward in this session to take over the Memphis and Shelby County school system. And he said one thing that I knew from the beginning, that if they did the forensic audit right, you were going to find out what he said. He said that, and these are his words, we're going to move quickly to take over this school system because there is some things that we see where has been misappropriating of funds. Now I know that. Now you get into the nitty gritty speaker session. Uh, Representative Mark White, Senator Brent Taylor. Y'all are getting to the nitty gritty. Right now at this point, I don't care whether you're Democrat, Republican, or Independent, or whatever you want to call yourself. When you do the right thing by people, and some people say, well, they just want to take it over. Well, take it over. Because the clowns that we have in office right now, it showed us last night what we got in office in the school board is absolutely nothing. Go back if you have to and get Dr. Kenneth Whaler, who served that school board well for his term. Go back and get people who have been in there, have done it, or turn around and get new people with new minds and with common sense. They know that my job is about taking care of the people. My job is about doing the right thing for the people. And we just have people across the board that look like you and I that's running this city and don't give a damn about you. It's all about them, and I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of this situation that we have in this city. When will we stop and think about what we are not doing as it relates to citizens in this community? These clowns, that's what they are. They're clowns and they can get out and be clowning public, and some of you will say, oh, they have the right to do that. They do not have the right to do that. If they're going to represent the people of this city, they got to look like they know what they're doing. They got to speak truth to power. But we accept the misbehavior. We accept the fact that nobody wants to do a drug test. And I said, it's drug test them all because they're making decisions that benefit us. And we need to know, we really need to know whether or not these individuals are using drugs. Any other position that you have in the city or county or state, if they find out you're using drugs, they kick you off. You can't tell me because that you are better than someone else on the streets when you're using drugs as well as the people on the street. I said to you, prove me wrong. Take the drug test. We have to call it out what it is. It is what it is. And one thing about it, it's going to take a while for you to get it out of your system if they decide to say, let's do it. If you use it recreational or you're using it every day, we need to know. Because the decision that was made last night, in my opinion, I would say all of them was on crack. Because they made a crackhead decision when they put this individual, Roderick Richmond, in. That's a crackhead decision. And I think how many of it would actually be if you take a drug test? Matter of fact, I challenge all the school board members that's there now, take a drug test. See what you're doing. Because the people want to know. And this is ridiculous as to what they did last night. He's strutting around talking about what he's going to do. You've been there a year. And what have you done? You talk about you're going to open up some satellite offices like that. That's nothing new. I remember when there was a South area office, a North area office. They had true leaders like Dan Ward, who was over the South area office, over there in Norris and the Expressway. I used to go by there. He was a friend of mine, chit-chat with him when I went by there to see my sister-in-law who worked there. And I used to sit in Brother Dan Ward's office and we would talk about issues of the day and things that happened back then. I used to sit there and just soak it in, the information that this brilliant man had, this true leader. But you talk about you doing something new that's been around, your ideas are ideas you just trying to take and say, this is what I want to do. People that don't know what he's saying, Roderick Richmond was done a long time ago. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. What are you going to do when it comes to our children. Tell me, our children uh, can't pass the basic skill test. They want to now put off the testing because of the snow. Is that really the reason you want to put the testing off because of the snow? Or you realize that the people are going to realize that you don't know what you're doing? It's something that's flawed about the system in Memphis, whether it be legal, political, social. That is flawed in the system. We keep putting these individuals with name recognition with no experience at all. But hey, I'm a member of the Who Shot John family. I'm well known. My cousin is Bishop so and so, and you go and vote for an individual with no qualification, but you voting because he kin to the bishop. What kind of sense does that make? Even if the bishop and them had sense, they didn't have enough sense to keep the Church of God in Christ here. It was all about the money. But people got smart. The leadership said, we're going to go somewhere where they appreciate us. And they went to St. Louis. And St. Louis had enough sense. They said, we're going to give these people what they want because they're going to bring millions upon millions of dollars to the economy of St. Louis. Now, I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to just say what it is. And I said it's to Brandon Porter. You on that board of bishop. I predict this. I predict that the headquarters will be anchored not in Memphis, Tennessee. All of the things that we have as it relates to the Church of God in Christ, the buildings will still be here. But the main headquarters and operation of business will be headquartered in St. Louis. The new bishop of the Church of God in Christ and the board of bishops will realize that Memphis was all about the money. The merchants and, oh no, we're not going to change our rate. We're going to raise the rate so we can get paid. It's all about the money. And look at what you lost because of bad decisions of the citizens who own businesses here. So these people say, hey, you don't appreciate us, we're going to take our business somewhere else. And more power to the people. More power to you if you go and vote these people out. And these individuals who have been around for years but can't tell you what they have done for you to benefit you. Now, I have no problem with people getting you a turkey or getting you a fish sandwich. Well, you can feed yourself for one day. But why not teach you how to fish so you can feed yourself for a lifetime? There's a problem with the leadership, and we have to change that. I'm Jenny Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. We want you to continue to be a part of this program. And this individual, wow, he couldn't even be over a daycare center, in my opinion. But y'all play the game, and you, Dr. Roderick Richmond, may have the paperwork, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the paperwork means nothing if you don't have common sense with it. I tell this story all the time of when I went into the 100 North Main building. I went in there to occupy a office that was once occupied by an attorney. And he left a lot of degrees. He was able to argue before the Supreme Court. He had a certificate that said that. He had a certificate that said he graduated from law school. He had a jurisprudence degree. But all of it after he passed away was just in a box. All the degrees and the right to argue cases before the Supreme Court were just papers in a box. Most of the people that you see, like this man on the screen, is just a paper in the box. He don't care about you, and you shouldn't care about him. You should get in there and get elected. And if you can do it, and I'm gonna find out, can you renege on the contract? Because it was not right for this school board when some of them will be out. In this case, we hope all of them out to make the decision to make it. He was interim all almost a year. He was interim. He was interim superintendent. Why didn't you leave him as interim until the new board got in and let them make the decision whether or not he should have been superintendent? But you playing that political game. You played that game with this individual when it came to Dr. Marie Fagan. I know friends right now that's probably happy because he's there. But you all are a joke. Really, you are a joke if you think that this individual is going to do something special. And I say to you, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, if the case be, our children will still be in this position where they can barely read, write, or do their arithmetic. They're going to be, because you're going to be paying and giving contracts out to people who are tutoring, supposedly, 11 million dollars contract, and they still can't pass the basic skills test. Dr. Marie Fagan knew that, and she knew that they was just passing money along, and the state of Tennessee realized it. Come and take over. I believe that, because when you give it to someone and they prove to you that they can't do the job, don't be upset. And I'm tired. I'll be the first one to tell you that when it comes to the black community, we come up short. When it comes to the black community, yeah, they don't give us everything we deserve. Sometimes it's still the mentality of Jim Crow still around. But what gets me, when we have individuals that's supposed to be able to change the mentality of the Jim Crow, then you as a black person begin to take that mentality and use it against your people like they did in Jim Crow. You are doing that every day. You are taking advantage of the people, and time is out for that. We got clowns that are in these positions that care nothing about you. And it's time for you to step up. It's time for you to say, hey, enough is enough. But if you don't, we're going to do it, because this election here is going to tell you whether or not. It's going to tell you. Now, this knucklehead right here that's on the school board, the worst thing that could have ever been. I don't understand how she got in politics, and I'm really concerned about the people in that district that will put somebody in office that's the biggest fool that I know. You put her in office, and then you get these knuckleheads running around here talking about, oh, she's doing a good job. What has she done? I tell you what she did do. She was one of the votes that gave him that spot. And everybody in that district needs to ship her home. Let her go somewhere and do what she do and what she do best, whatever that may be. Because she does not deserve to be on that school board. And that's why Memphis is so messed up. for people like this. How can you do that? And most of you knew about it. But then I hear intelligent people, people that I respect, that says that she, Tawana Murphy, deserved to be on the school board. I don't understand that. But these are the people that voted for this guy to lead our children. With me, to me, I don't have a clue. I don't know. Maybe he should have been the superintendent over transportation or whatever he was. He probably did a good job with that. All he had to do is make sure the children get on the bus, make sure the bus drivers will pick them up. That's maybe been a good job for him. But then you took this, and I don't care now about being a black man. See, a black man can be just as wrong as any other race when it comes down to him taking care of himself and not taking care of other people. The sheriff race. They're trying to put somebody on you that can't figure out with the present sheriff how to correct the jail system. They don't have a plan, they don't have thought. All they do is sit back and want to say I'm in power, want to say that I'm getting, the checks, the position. So if Anthony Buckner can't help Floyd Bonner to solve this problem that we have in the jail system, people are dying. If they can't do that, ladies and gentlemen, if they can't solve the problem with two heads being together or his administration, but then you're going to give us somebody that couldn't figure it out as the assistant chief, but you want to make him the sheriff. Somehow, if you do that, you're just messing up. The sheriff's department going to go from sugar to you know what. It's already you know what because of the poor leadership. Let's be real. Let's talk about it. Let's be real about what's going on in this city politically. And it just don't make sense. It's just about somebody told me and said, they done put it off, and that's what I need to talk to some of the people in over there in the New Chicago, excuse me. Because they're saying eventually they're going to put that jail right over there in the midst of what they wanted to do in the beginning. They're saying they got them thinking that it's going to be somewhere else. But oh, let's see what happens if it comes up again. Everything that's negative, everything, nothing positive, they put it all in the black community. When will we wake up? When will we decide that we're no longer going to take this foolishness that we've been taking all of these years? Ladies and gentlemen, I always appreciate you. I have to tell it like it is. I have to let you know that we have fallen short of the true leadership to lead our community. You don't have to destroy black people anymore because you sit back, the powers that be, and we destroy each other. We're no more hanging of black folks. Black folks are hanging and killing each other. Why? Because they didn't do the proper thing to be ready for society. Some want their money quick, fast, and in a hurry. Whatever I got, I worked for all of my life. My first job, 12 years old, sweeping and mopping up old Russell Pharmacy drugstore is at the corner of Hollywood and Chelsea. I got out there working with my father, and I understood what it is to be and do the right thing and work hard. But now the young people are deciding, hey, when they get a chance that I can legally drop out of school, then I'm gonna drop out of school. And then I'm gonna be out here doing what I need to do to survive. And that is to take your money, to kill you while you trying to make your way to your job or stop to get some gas. The leadership is not doing anything to try to change the situation in the city of Memphis. We still number one most violent city in America. We hold that title. And we're still going to hold that title because of the poor leadership we got on the school board, the poor leadership we have everywhere in the city of Memphis. As always, I really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. Yeah, I'm a little ticked off. I see bad decision made. What we're doing across the board, most but not all, those who are legitimately trying to do things, but they're getting told to do other things because they say money and contribution is what's going to keep you in office. But let's show them differently. That no matter how much money you get in contribution, 200,000, the people will ultimately make the decision. I don't know who will come out on top, but I do know that they're saying that DeBerry, former representative, that the Democratic Party kicked out of the Democratic Party. Why? Because he didn't go along with the foolishness that you all wanted him to do. See, that's an individual that they said he may run. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to stand tall and make a change. And I say without a doubt that all of these people that are running right now, it's already announced. And we're going to get this report in, I think it's the 22nd. To stay in, and we're gonna call them. We're gonna get them to come in. So much. I appreciate you, all of you, for subscribing, and I ask that you continue to subscribe to this program, to share this program. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, X, and we're gonna get many ways that you can take and listen to what we are saying, and you will be seeing me. And sometime our debates and other things are being held when I'm doing this show, I may miss it from time to time. And I hate that I missed it over at First Baptist because everybody calling me and said, you should have been there. You should have seen what happened. That was a message sent. But I say to you in this election, let us send a message to everybody who's running. And I'm going to ask you a question if you come here, no matter what position you're running for. I'm going to ask you a question, a main question. And it all depends on your answer. If you say you're for it, then we'll see if you're elected. If you say that you're not for it, then you're being honest. And then we don't need to consider you. Because we're going to ask you the thing, what are you going to do for South Memphis, North Memphis, if you're running for that position? Everybody else is being taken care of except North and South Memphis. Same people pay taxes just like the people in East Memphis. But what are you getting for your tax dollars? And oh, watch the potholes. After all of this ice and snow, watch the pothole. My wife and I was out yesterday, and in the middle of Winchester, there was a big, big pothole there, just in the middle because of the ice. It wasn't there, and I can't remember it being there, but it was there. A huge pothole. Now what's going to happen after the snow is gone? Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you tuning and being a part of this. As always, you know the number is 901-288-5779. You can call and leave a message and tell me what's on your mind. I appreciate that, and we'll talk about that as well. You can email me at Sonny, Sonny, Bernard, Bernard. That's one word, at att.net. Tell me what's on your mind. We'll talk about it. You can also text while I'm doing this program and tell me what's on your mind. And we need to talk about it. I challenge anyone who really wants to talk about the status of this community and the politician. Give me a call. I'll invite you to come in and let's talk about it. We can debate the pros and the cons. I will give you, but I am just disappointed as to what this school board did. And I say to you, the state of Tennessee, because of the action, and now you're saying that there is abuse and misuse of the fund as a part of what you all are seeing in the forensic audit. If that is true, if you've taken and stolen from the people the funds in regard to the school board, you need to go to jail. If Johnny, if Robert, or anyone else has stolen money, whether it be by contract or anything else, you need to go to jail. And a message will be sent strong and hard that we will break up this foolishness and stop electing these garbage people. Nothing but garbage, making garbage decisions. And no disrespect to the sanitation work, but I use that to stress the point that we got garbage in our elected officials. I'm Jennings Bernard, and I really do appreciate you. You know what to do. Go to MemphisRealTalk.com. MemphisRealTalk.com, that's the website. Also, you can use that to look at the videos on the website as well as using the same thing on YouTube, X as well. We are here trying to put together a turnaround in this city. In the words of my grandmother, she used to always say, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. But please remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of it. And before I leave you, I want to give my condolences to the Schaefer family, a good friend of mine, fellow Marine, graduated together in Douglas, Jake Shavers. I got word today that he passed away. Good friend of mine. I'm praying for his family. I ask that you pray for his family, and truly Jake will be missed. And I love the brother. Simplify. My brother, rest well until that time comes. And when we all see you on the other side, we pray for you. But we know as well right now, Brother Jake Shaver, all is well. You couldn't have met a finer Marine or a finer friend. My condolences to the family. As well, trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. God bless you and take care.